Alright, I'm having some issues with the Twitch again. There's a surprise. We are live. Give me just a minute to try to figure this out. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with Twitch. It's not showing me anything. But it's live. Not sure what's going on with this camera. Or why Discord just opened. Got some weird camera angles here that I'm trying to get figured out. Bear with me just a minute on that. Hopefully we can get it all figured out before the green. Hard part with a road course is the camera angles with them auto-selecting don't usually go the way you want them to. Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to go with regular old TV and broadcast. Alright, well, still not sure what's going on with Twitch. YouTube does appear to be up though, so at least there's that. We've got this set to be most exciting, so let's just jump around the field a little bit as people get close to each other instead of just looking at the one car that's on its own. Hopefully. Excuse me. When you do see my car behind the weird looking paint, it has a spec map applied that's for a different paint job that I took off. Spec map, even though I pulled it out of the folder, so not sure what's up with that. I do kind of like the flat look, but It's not what this car is meant to look like. Sorry if I'm not as talkative as usual today. I'm a little bit tired. I was up way too late last night, so he gets a little sideways there. He catches it though. So whoever's watching right now, I'm going to be honest with you, this is a pretty quiet race, not a whole lot of real excitement. But it did turn out a lot better than I expected it to from my point of view. So I don't really have any complaints about it. There were a couple of incidents, mostly one-car spins and slides, things like that. Nothing brought out a full course caution aside from stage brakes, so everything was local. Really not sure what's going on with Twitch right now. I've been trying to get it figured out. It says I'm live. I've got a live timer, but I have a black screen. Hey, I see my car. So I'm going to current race leader Colton's car, 0. Went way off to the outside there, kind of left that 83 back. See what's going faster. Initially tried to let him by on the front straightaway, but I didn't slow down enough early enough. Yeah, you can kind of see the spec map on the left side of the car, part of the number. Not ideal. And there he spins right in front of me. All that backing off just let them by and pay off for it. Brakes in this race. We're at the end of lap 12 and the end of lap 26, so we've got about 2 laps, a little over 2 laps left before that stage break for our first caution. Put it in the grass just a little tiny bit there. It threw me all over the place. Better than anybody else. As you can tell, these are the leaders. Nice big gap back to third place there. Finish line and first caution of the race, which again is just a stage break, and everybody's going to come in and take some fuel. Most of us will take some tires. And there they go, end of the first stage. I have a 12.6 second gap back to third place, and it just continues to grow from there. Road courses are tough, man, but they're fun. What that gap shows after 12 laps and being just over 12 seconds ahead is that they are a second faster per lap than the next best car on track. There you get a good look at my pit crew in their newly redesigned suits out there doing their thing, getting driven through. Yeah, 77 move up a few spots under that caution from not taking tires on the pit stop. Everybody else stayed pretty much where they were, with the exception of me moving further back as I sat there and did some damage repair. Which is why there's a gap right now between 5th place and me. The rest of the field now working on getting caught up. Got one car left, trying to catch up with the field before we hit the start-finish line. Way back there, 28 seconds back right now. So yeah, most of us took tires every 12 to 15 laps during precautions, the stage breaks and things like that. Most of what's chewing the tires up on a road course isn't necessarily the fact that it's such an aggressive track, but the fact that you are at lower speeds, it's a lot easier to spin the tires and you burn them up a lot quicker that way too. Granted, there are a lot more turns, so yeah. The laps are longer, so it probably equates to about the same, which is why there's less laps in a road course race. But a lot of it comes down to how aggressive you are on the throttle and the brake. You slide the tires and they get hot when you start wearing them out. Kind of a roundabout answer, but that's basically the answer to the question. Like I said, that 77 on that pit stop didn't take tires, as you can see, 16 on lap 16, and just not taking tires. He's really fallen back from that loss of speed with less grip. Tracks like this, we see a lot heavier braking and a lot lower speeds trying to accelerate out of the corners, so that's what's really wearing the tires out more than anything. And of course, if you are overly aggressive and the tires start getting hot, they lose grip from that, and then you're sliding more, which causes even faster wear. So yeah, if you're doing an open setup race, you would set the car up to be more symmetrical on a road course. Typically, the car doesn't ever get truly symmetrical with this design. There's always going to be some favor one way or the other. So you favor whichever direction you have more turns up and faster turns up, and you'll sacrifice a little bit as far as the setup goes. But this series is a fixed setup race, so we don't get control over our setups. We run the iRacing basic setup before the track. Makes it a little more even, and it's a challenge, competition of drivers as opposed to teams. Matter of fact, both of the series I currently participate in are fixed setup races. Yeah, that is what they do most. Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and the Truck Series all, and ARCA even now, being a part of NASCAR. They do a lot of oval racing. They've been adding a lot more road courses to the season lately, especially with the design of the new Cup car. It is a far more symmetrical car. It's built to be a road course car and also be able to do overs. I don't race that car right now. I haven't practiced in it enough, and it's a very different car versus like these with the more traditional setup. These are the second tier, the Xfinity Series car. The Cup Series car is an all-new design. It's got big 18-inch wheels with a center lock, 5 valves, sequential transmissions, symmetrical setup, more independent side to side, instead of being built to go left and built to go road course racing, and then they get set up to go left. Yeah, they don't look much like stock cars anymore. They do kind of look like toys, like remote control cars. Personally, I think they look pretty cool, but they don't resemble the factory cars they're made to look like they're used to anymore. And that has upset a lot of people, believe it or not. A lot of the fan base wants the cars to look like the cars on the street, which makes sense. Yeah, well, also that the new car. I don't know if you remember NASCAR from, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago, but those cars did not have straight body lines at all. If you looked at them from the front, the car almost twisted to the side from the front to the rear, all to help them go left. Something I don't understand with the general NASCAR fan base is they yell and scream that they want more road courses, and then NASCAR gives them more road courses, but they have to design the car to handle those road courses better, and then they get mad about the changes to the car design. And now my new favorite, now that they've got more road courses, everybody complains about all the road courses and wants short track racing back. There's only so many weeks in a summer that they can race. You gotta have a balance. It's like some people just can never be satisfied. Yeah, for real. Only got a few laps left before the next stage break. Everybody will enter the fire line. I would definitely consider that unrelated. Whoop. That was not ideal for the 83, Brandon. You're multitasking. Yeah, that can be a challenge. Here we see our race leaders again. A nice big gap between first and second at 6.5 seconds, and then about another 6 seconds back to third. And an 8-second gap back to fourth, and then a big gap between fourth and me, and between me and sixth, and then the remainder of the cars are lapping. This was one of those races. I didn't have the speed. I was never going to be up front, and it was just basically hang on for dear life and see where I can end up. And the goal was to keep the car going the right direction, which I did. I damaged it a little bit by bumping into walls, but I kept the nose pointed the way it was supposed to be pointed. There's our stage brake. You see the pace car coming out now. I kept the nose pointed the way it was supposed to be pointed. As you've seen, a couple other people struggled with that, and really helped out my finishing position. I would end up fourth at the end of the race, so a lot better than I expected. I figured I'd be probably somewhere near the back, and instead I was somewhere near the front. When you get to road courses and big tracks like this, sometimes it's not necessarily about being the fastest. I mean, obviously the fastest one overall is still going to be the winner, but in order to get a good, decent finish position, try to maintain some consistency on your season points. Sometimes being slow can kind of pay out for you because you're not overdriving the car and you're not going to make those mistakes. Hey, I'm just glad I didn't end up on the trailer early. This is our final caution of the race, the last stage brake. And after this, it'll be 20-ish, a little less than, probably between 15 and 20 laps. I think we'll have one more lap of caution after this, so we'll green on 29 or 30. Now that applies more to dirt than road course racing, but if you find yourself sliding, yeah, you might have to turn right. Yeah, I mean, one's a race car, one's a shoe brand. You pick. Okay, so we'll be taking the green at lap 30 because the lights are still on at the end of 28. So 29, they'll go off. 29 will be our last pace lap, the start of lap 30, so it'll be 15, 16 to go to the end. Little pit lane fake out there from the leader. As long as you're not running with 2 left feet. Not as big as finding the shopping mill exfil as a scav. And nobody else in the audience understands that reference, but playing Escape from Tarkov last night and had a bit of a struggle. We'll just put it that way. Ready to go green for the last stage of the race here, the last 15 or 16 laps to the end. side by side. Very, very challenging thing to do on a track like this. Yeah, they get squirrely pretty much anywhere if you're not super careful. So easy to see that in a lot of the drivers there. I probably did it more than the leaders, obviously, because they were far more under control than I It is. It's lots of fun. It's a challenge. There you see the number 9 car, the orange one back there, getting real loose coming off that corner. Just a couple mentions here while I've got time. Our next race in this series is coming up Wednesday at 9 o'clock, racing at Kentucky Speedway. So back to the ovals. This was our only road course for this series. Kentucky coming up on Wednesday, and then on Thursday I will be revealing my Darlington Throwbacks game for next week's race. That reveal will come out at about 12 o'clock noon on Thursday when I get my lunch break at work. And it will be on the Facebook. So if you're curious what that car is going to look like, check there. We'll also be racing the mini stocks Thursday. That race is going to be interesting, as we will be at Laguna Seca in that. So a road course in the mini stocks. It's going to be an even bigger challenge than this is, because the mini stock is designed to be a short track car. So we'll see how that turns out. Yeah, the legendary corkscrew a very real challenge in a mini stock car. Little four-cylinder Fox body Mustang bodies. A lot of the guys have them rebranded as Chevys. Mine stayed as a Mustang because that's what I race in this series. They're basically set up as a typical short track local race. Wow, English is hard. They're set up as a stock car that you would see at your typical local short track, but they have a four-cylinder instead of an eight-cylinder, so they're definitely not designed to do road courses. And that track as a whole is going to be a challenge, much less the corkscrew. I feel like falling off the roof of a building in a race car. A little bit of an incident there. 17 and the 9 getting together. No, they are not. They're going to feel very severely underpowered going up the first half of the track. I mean, obviously the first stretch is downhill, but then from there you go up quite a way to get to the corkscrew. They're not going to like that. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. I'm just going to make it as fun as I can make it. Third in the point standings for that series. Would like to stay there. Didn't do too well last week. Don't have too high of expectations for Laguna Seca, but we'll see what happens. Because to be fair, I didn't have too high of an expectation for this race and ended up doing pretty well, so. Excuse me. I think season-wise, I am in 9th in the standings for this series and 3rd for the mini stocks. So, doing relatively well in both series. You look at this field and see there's only 9 cars. You think 9th isn't too good, but this is not all the drivers in the series. I've tried to remain consistent and race every time I'm able to race. well, some other drivers have missed multiple races here and there, or raced early in the season, haven't been racing much late in the season, or raced late in the season, didn't race early in the season. So I think there's 28-ish drivers on the season standings right now, so I'm in the ninth out of that. So I can't complain about it. See leaders coming in for a pit stop here right now. We will need to stop to get fuel for the final stretch, and that's what they're coming in for right now. Gives you a good look at how big of a gap those two have pulled from everybody else. They took their fuel and came out still in the lead. So here in a couple of weeks, we've got a couple races left before we get there, but here in a couple of weeks we'll be starting the playoffs for the Xfinity Series. And to make the playoffs and have a shot at the championship, you have to be in the top 12 in points at that point in time. I am currently sitting in ninth, so I am inside that cut for now, as long as I'm keeping the races. Gauge spinning the ball there. Took some pretty good damage to the front of the car. So making it into the first round of the playoffs is the current goal. And we'll see what I can do with it from there. I think a lot of the slower cars, myself included, were not being as aggressive with the gas pedal. And we're probably going to make it with fuel. Unlike the leaders, they had to stop because they were going to be a little bit short. But I think the rest of us back here with 4.5 laps to go right now, I think we're going to be okay. went down another spot. Plug my headset in real quick. There we go. See the reflective numbers on both of those two cars. Shiny silver numbers in the purple one. Looking pretty good. Leader taking the start stripe there for 2 laps to go. Flag, 1 to go for the lead. The top 6 drivers still on the lead lap, all spread out quite a bit, about 10 seconds between each of them on average. The gap between first and second a little smaller, the gap between second and third a little bigger, and then from there back it's about 10 seconds each. Final turn into the last straightaway, and the leader is taking the checkered flag right about now. The finishing order from here will not change. Gary in first in the 72, Colton in the 00 second, Driver at the 77 third, me in the 06 fourth, Gage in the 33 is fifth, Mike in the 17 is sixth, Hunter in the 9 is seventh, Brandon 83 eighth, and Zach in the 51 ninth. That is the finishing order for the Watkins Glen only road course race on the Xfinity schedule. Wasn't the most exciting race we've had, but it was fun from a driver perspective to be able to take that road course and turn left and right and kind of face some challenges we don't face on a regular schedule. So had a good time with it. Like I said, ended up fourth place, so inside the top five yet again. Had a pretty good run of those lately. I'd like to keep that trend going as Gary celebratorily takes down all of the cones in that corner. And the rest of us make our way back to the pits. Once we're all parked up, I'll go ahead and end the stream, but until then, I'll just sit here and kind of watch what everybody's doing, having a little bit of fun. And Gage spins after the race. Gary doing his burnout over there, victory celebration. And that's all there really is about it. That one is over and in the books. I had fun with it. Like I said, not a lot of major on-track excitement, but it was a fun race from a driver perspective. Even if you're by yourself on these road courses, there is a whole new level of challenge that we don't face on a regular basis. So it was a learning experience, and it was a good experience. But now that we call this one over, thank you guys for coming out and watching. And I will see you hopefully on Wednesday for the Kansas race at 9 p.m. That's all.